Hi everyone, this is me Javed Ahmed. I'm here for another video for all you guys. Let's get started. Many people get confused whenever they want to use must and have to. They really don't know where to use must and when to use have to. No worries, as I'm here to remove all of your confusion using these two structures. Before going into the details, you must know that both of these structures must and have to have one thing in common, and that is obligation or necessity, or you can say compulsion. We use both of these structures when there is something necessary or obligatory. So, uses of must. The first use is we use must to give strong advice. For example, you must study hard if you want to pass the exam. Another example is you must call a doctor before his condition gets worse. The third example is you must make sure you wash your hands after you touch something dirty. The second use of must is we use must when the speaker feels something necessary or obligatory. For example, I must study harder because I really want to pass the exam. The second example is you must apologize to her for the mistakes you made. In these examples, the speaker himself feels that something is obligatory or necessary. The third use of must is it is also used for making strong assumptions based on logical reasoning and evidences, although they are not directly observed by this person. The first example is it's been raining all day. The roads must be slippery. The second example is the lights are off and no one answered the door. They must be out. The third example is the report is so detailed. You must have spent hours on it. In these examples, you saw that the person did not observe something directly, but he has made assumptions for these things. Uses of have to. The first use is we use have to when the obligation comes from a situation or a person. The example is you have to leave now because it's too late. The second example is I have to wear a coat because it's freezing outside. The third example is I have to finish the report because my boss asked for it. Now you can see that in the first two examples, the obligation comes from a situation, and in the last example, you can see that the situation or the obligation comes from the person. Have to can also be used for expressing routine works or regular actions. For example, I have to go to work every day at 8 a.m. The second example is he has to take his medication twice a day. Now you can see that these two examples expressing the routine of a person. In conclusion, both words can be used for obligation. Must is used for strong advice, strong assumption, and when the speaker feels something obligatory, whereas have to is used for obligation that comes from a person or a situation. It can also be used for regular actions.